today I wanted to play around with these cute kitty cats again, and I never used this stencil, so I did two other cards before with these kitty cats, this little gray one and this little orange kitty. And in this set, it comes with a different stencil here, and I used that for the background, and I also die cut out some of the cats. But I wanted to use this stencil, and I'm thinking of doing something maybe a little colorful today. I'm not sure exactly, but this stencil just covers up these little kitties perfectly. So I'm thinking of maybe doing the stencil, stamping them out, and then somehow making this a colorful card. So I'm going to go ahead and grab my grip mat, and maybe we'll start coloring in some of these kitties, and then I think I'll go ahead and stamp on top of it, and we'll just see where this card goes today. Okay, so I've just got a sheet of Hammermill cardstock here. Now, I am new to the Hammermill cardstock, and this is quite a smooth cardstock. The one that I usually use just from my local store has a little bit more texture to it, almost between a cardstock and a mixed media. So I'm not sure how this is going to take the ink, but we're not going to do anything fancy. I just want to do like a solid color here. And because I used these two kitties the last time, I think I'm going to pick some of these other cats around the side, and I don't think this one's going to go with what I want to do, so we'll probably do these ones. That'll give us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I think that's going to be perfect. And some of the colors that I've picked, I've got mustard seed, barn door, and these are all the distress oxides, wilted violet, mermaid lagoon, and mowed lawn. So I'm doing like a rainbow palette sort of here. That's my idea. So I'm just going to go ahead and start getting color. So it's pretty easy to see like which ones they are standing up. So I'm just going to grab one and just getting it down. And I just want sort of a solid-ish color. And this is actually going on this cardstock pretty nice and smooth. Some cardstocks, if you like go right on it instead of coming off the side of the stencil, it will do like a big, like it'll grab a big splotch of that color. But that's actually doing pretty good, and it's smoothing out very nicely. So then let's go ahead and grab our red. And I only put some tape here just so that this stencil would stay down, because there's not a whole lot on my grip mat. But I don't care if any of the colors go out of this, because I'm going to use the dies to die cut these out. So I don't want this one, I want this one. Yeah, let's try if we start right in the middle. Yeah, usually you'd get like a little splotchy area. Oh, that's kind of neat. Now I don't want to go super dark with these, but I do want the color to be there. But it's smoothing out really, really nicely. So I might just go ahead and speed this up real quick, because I'm literally just putting down a flat color for most of these. And it might be a little boring, you just sitting here watching. Now I'm going to be careful getting up into the red area. And if you're using bigger brushes, just wipe your stencil off in between different colors if you don't want to contaminate your brushes. But yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and speed up the rest of this, and I will be right back. Okay, so now that they're all done, I'm going to go ahead and stamp these little kitties on there. Now, I did kind of mess up this little guy's tail. I got a little messy with the green and got a little bit of the green on it, but I just went over with the blue and it turned out fine. So that's okay for me. And these came out pretty good. So I'll go ahead and clean this off with water afterwards because these are water soluble ink, so I don't have to worry about doing it right away. But I'm going to get my little stamp platform out here, and I'm just going to get these in. And get this out of the way. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is just take the little kitties that I've done, and since they're all pretty spaced out, I'm just going to go ahead and get all of them on here, and I'm going to stamp before I die cut them. I think that would be easier. So I'm just going to get all of them stuck on here, and I'll just go ahead and stamp them all at once. Okay, I feel like I got them on there as good as I'm going to get them. So I'm just going to go ahead and get them stuck to my stamp platform here. And I'm just going to go ahead and use the archival ink in black. And we're going to hope for the best. Now maybe I'll focus on 2 here just to see how these turn out. Oh, that didn't stamp back there. Okay, they're lined up pretty good. I feel like that's pretty good. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp these ones. There we go. That looks so cute. I love how those came out. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and die cut these out, and then I'll be right back. Oh, and I want to let you know too, I'm just cleaning these with this Stays On ink cleaner. I got this at Michael's, I think. But I didn't even prime these stamps because I haven't used these ones yet. And they stamped just lovely. So I just wanted to make that little note in here. But usually I'll just take my hands or my fingers and just rub over them to kind of get any oils or any residue that's on the stamps off. But they stamp just lovely without even doing that. Okay, so this is how our kitties look once they're all die cut. And my idea for this card was to lay them sort of all out in like a rainbow pattern. And then I think I'm going to do some paint or some color coming down. But I'm just going to get these kind of lined up a little bit. I want them sort of towards the card. Now I had to go a little bit bigger with this card. So this is a 5x7 card. So this is 7x5. Just so that I could fit them all in here because I wanted them in a line. If you want it to go a little bit smaller, you could kind of have some at the top and some at the bottom, or you could have them kind of all around the card and you could have just paint kind of going all over. But I wanted the paint to be looking like it's kind of dripping down from these cats or coming out from these cats somehow. But this is sort of the arrangement that I want these in. So what I'm going to do is just take a pencil, my pencil here, and I'm going to kind of decide where I want my paint to start coming from. So I want it to be coming from all of them, like inside so you can't see. So I need the paint to start up high enough. So we'll kind of go somewhere here through the middle of them. And then I want it to start so it's sort of like concentrated in the middle of each cat. So I'm going to put a little line to kind of just indicate the middle of each cat. And this one here. And then we'll kind of have our paint coming out a little bit there. So I kind of want the paint to be from like here to here, from here to here, here to, actually these ones could go a little bit wider. These ones, because the blue is going to have to go a little bit wider, and then our green. So something like that. And then I can erase these lines at the top afterwards, but just to give me sort of an indication of. Now the only thing that I don't like is this yellow is going to be a little off from the green, so I'm going to move this over. a little bit, and maybe we'll move our red over a little bit. I'm going to try to get those lined up. So just something like that. I kind of want the general direction there. So I'm going to move these up out of the way so I don't risk splattering them with water, and then we can erase these lines afterwards, even though it looks pretty messy right now. And then I'm just going to come in with the same colors that I used to stamp them. And I'm just going to make sure that I'm still in frame, and I want to get a good amount of color down so that it shows up. And I've just got a little jar of water and some paper towel here. And I'm just going to mix this up sort of like water paint. And I'm just going to have this kind of coming down just like a paint splotch. And it doesn't have to go all the way to the end of the card. I kind of want it dragging off, kind of like that. And then I'm just going to get all of that out of there. And then I'm going to go ahead and grab my barn door. And let's move this water here. And I'm just going to do the same thing, get a good amount of that down. And you could do this with anything. You could stamp anything there. I'm just dabbing a little bit of the water off on the paper towel so it's not so super wet. You could really stamp anything. And I'm looking between my two lines that I have here. And then do this fun look. So I just want it to look like paint kind of coming from the cats. And then I'm making sure that I get it up high enough so that it looks like it's coming from right underneath of them. So like that. So I'm going to rinse that off. So I'm just going to do the same thing for all of these. So I might speed this up a little bit, and I don't know if I'm going to be off. I might be on screen for most of this. On screen, on screen, I guess, because I'm just using the palette of my glass board here because it works really well. So this is how this came out. Just little paint strips here, super easy, and I'm going to erase all of this at the top, but I'm going to go ahead and let this dry thoroughly, and then we'll get a sentiment to go over here and get all of our little cats down. But I don't want to waste this paint over here, so I've just got this 4¼ by 5½ A2 card panel here, and I'm just going to spritz this with some water and just put this through it and see what this will give us. Because, you know, once you have all this lovely paint down here, sometimes it's a shame to waste it. So I don't know if I want to spray my card. I don't think I'm going to spray my card, but I think I'm going to try to do like sort of almost in a rainbow pattern like I was doing before. Oh yeah, I like that. Okay. Oh, that's kind of cool. I want to get a little bit more just right like in here. So between this in the purple. Maybe get a little bit more blue and a little bit more green, but you don't want to play too much because now it's starting to turn into some mud. But another thing that you can do with this is give this a little spray. So like, let's say we want some of this paint to kind of still move around. We could give it a spray. I'm going to try to get just a little bit more green in this corner here. And then I think I like that. Maybe just a little bit more there. And then that's like a cool little background that you could use for something, or that you could use to die cut something out. So I'm going to go ahead and let that dry as well. Sometimes if I've got paint kind of coming along the edges, I can just come in with a little bit of this, but it's already starting to dry. So I'm just going to go ahead and let that dry, and then I will clean this up. But I like doing that, some paint smushing or whatever you want to call it, with any leftover paint, because then you're not wasting it and you might create something cool from it. Okay, so I've just got a 5x7 card base here, and I'm going to go ahead and just use my double-sided tape here to adhere this on the back. I don't want to add any more liquid to this just because it is warping a little bit. So I am just going to run this along all of my edges, and then I usually just do a couple little pieces in the middle. Now this is going to be a top folding card, but I just have a little piece of washi tape in there holding this down flat. But since this is going to be top folding, I'm going to try to get this placed as best I can. And this card is a little bit smaller than my panel, so I might not have cut this exactly to a 5x7, but that's okay because I can just go ahead and trim this down really quick. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to trim the sides down real quick, and then we'll be back. Okay, so I just put my little kitties here about where I want them on this card, but how cool is this? I love how this turned out, and it just worked out that I could trim a little bit off of this yellow side, kind of make it a little bit more even. But the way I want these spaced out, I may have to cut a little bit of our green and yellow kitties' tails off, but that's okay. But I love this, and like I said, you could do this with any kind of stamped image. Just do like one color and do some stripes. You could do some drips. I was thinking if I wanted to do any splatters on this, but I think I like it just like this. And then I'm going to have a sentiment come down here. Now I wanted to show you the piece of paper that I did the smushing on there. This is how that turned out. I love this. This would be a really cool background, or you could even use this to die cut some images out of if you just wanted to use a certain section. So let me know in the comments down below what you think I should use this for, because I definitely want to use it up. I don't want to waste it, but that's how that turned out. So let's go ahead and get our little kitties glued down, and I'm just using the Simon's Positively Perfect glue here. This glue works really well. And I want him almost right at the top, like his little ears almost right at the top there. And then I've got a little bit of his tail coming off the edge, but that's okay. And then this guy's going to overlap a little bit. And I want to make sure his paws are kind of down. Let's move these ones over a little bit. Down in line. And he's sort of about in the middle of the little blue thing. Oh, this looks so cute. And I thought about popping these up, but I think I'm going to pop my sentiment up instead, and just have these nice and flat. So I think that's going to be fine. And then this guy's going to come sort of right in the middle. And I like to just hold it down for a second, but okay, and then this little kitty's gonna be, I think he's gonna have to, actually I might have to put my yellow kitty down first, because I'm gonna have to have him overlapping a little bit. So we'll have this guy kind of coming here, and I guess we can take off the back end of him. There we go, and then pick up this little guy. Something like that. Oh, these look so cute. There, so I like that. Actually, I'm going to leave my glue out. And for my sentiment, I pulled out this Better Press of the Month sentiment. This was August 2024, and I loved this one, Have a Colorful Birthday. This has a few different sentiments. Let your color shine, our love is art, you color me happy, and have a colorful birthday. But I thought this one was perfect, and then I think that's going to go right there. And this does come with the little thingy here to kind of cut them all out. And I did better press this with just some black ink. So I'm going to go ahead and get these off here. And I am using just some foam squares here to kind of pop this up a little bit, just so we have a little bit of dimension on the card here. And then I'm going to put just a tiny little dab of glue on these, just so I have a little bit of time to move this around and wiggle it if it's not right in the right place. I'm going to try to get it centered. So I'm going to line it up on my desk here, and I'm going to try to figure out where the center-ish would be. And I think that looks pretty good. And then having that glue on there just allows you to kind of wiggle it a little bit. There, have a colorful birthday. I love that. And I'm just going to cut the little ends of our kitties off here. And then I also got this stamp here. I just got this from Michael's. It says handmade by, and I thought this would be perfect to kind of stamp on the card, and then you can write your name in it. So I'm just going to grab some black ink. Let's just go with this archival ink. And I haven't used this before, so let's grab a spare piece of card here to try it first before we go right on our card. And I'm not sure if I want to put anything on the inside of the card just yet. I might wait and just see. So let's just stamp this down here. Oh yeah, that's gonna look really nice. I love that. Okay, so let's give this a good little press again. And I'm going to make sure this is the side that's going to open. Yes. And we're just going to give it a little stamp down here, because this is going to be a top opening. Oh, I might be slightly crooked, but that's okay. It's handmade. Oh, love that. Okay. That is great. And then let me just get this open here, because I do have this little piece of washi tape that I had in there. And that is our card. I absolutely love how this turned out. Let me know in the comments down below if you like this idea, just having like something colorful up here and then the colors kind of trailing down. This would be so cool to do like in little flowers too, or anything really. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Thank you so much for watching. And as always, I will see you in my next video. Bye.